All right. The next two gait deviations that I'm going to talk about is a valgus moment in mid stance and a varus moment in mid stance. For the valgus moment, what it would look like, what I feel like is always easier to remember whenever I'm trying to see this, besides like the L and the rum and all that kind of stuff too. This one, the knees almost touch, and for varus, the feet almost touch. That's just the easy way for me to remember it. But for a valgus gait, it would look more like the foot would kind of come out a little bit more, but the knees, it would create more of kind of this, like the L-shaped movement, but whenever they're walking, it would just kind of, I feel like it's not enough space in between the knees during a valgus gait, and so anatomically what could be wrong is that they're walking with too wide of a base of support, so they could just be kind of out here, so that when they walk trying to compensate and trying to balance themselves out, they could kind of create that moment. But then also they could have a hip abduction contracture as well, not really creating, kind of having them stuck out here and not really giving them that adduction that they need to properly keep their legs closer together when they walk. Prosthetic wise, the causes of it, the foot could be too outset or the socket too inset, so the foot could be kind of too far out compared to the socket. You just gotta make sure that there's like a nice, like, even fit in there, and that there's not any kind of creating any kind of hip abduction moment or anything like that where you don't want it, or the prosthesis itself could just be too long, and so it's making them kind of have that wider base of support, and they don't feel as comfortable, as balanced when they walk. So because of that, the knee is kind of kicking in to the other knee as they walk. So that's valgus. For varus, it's kind of opposite of it. For an excessive varus movement, they're more, I can't really walk in a varus movement apparently, but your feet would just be really closer together, and you would almost be kind of bow-legged in a sense for the varus moment. So anatomically, the causes could be a narrow base of gait. So instead of having the wider base of support like we did for the valgus, you would have a narrower space. So that's why you're walking really close together, and instead of an abductor contraction, you would have an adductor contraction. So instead of being able to kick your leg out, you kind of be stuck just in adduction. So you need adduction and abduction to walk in a straight line in an appropriate way. And so if you can't really kick your legs out to walk, they're just kind of stuck like this when you walk. So anatomy wise, that could be the things wrong with them. Prosthetic wise, it's the same thing with the foot and the socket. You gotta make sure that it's a nice fit, because the socket versus the foot could be more just uneven, creating a lot of adduction where you don't want it. So you just want to check on that. And then also, when the valgus moment, the prosthetic was too long, but in the varus moment, the prosthesis would actually be too short. And so with it being too short, that would be where you would get that abduction moment, because they would just kind of feel kind of off like that. And so to help compensate and help make sure that they're actually still walking well, they would kind of create that adduction moment.